Mr. Henderson was driving home, lost in thought, when flashing blue and red lights filled his rearview mirror. He pulled over, confused. He hadn't been speeding. Officer Miller, young and tense, approached with a cold, clipped tone. "License and registration," he demanded, offering no greeting or explanation. Mr. Henderson, surprised by the officer's demeanor, complied quietly. The air grew thick with tension. Officer Miller's eyes scanned the car, suspicion growing from nothing but a bad day and a gut feeling. He saw ordinary things, a bag, a file folder, but his mind twisted them into something suspicious. Mr. Henderson kept his hands visible, moving slowly, determined to stay calm. The officer's rigid posture and lack of explanation made the stop feel hostile. Mr. Henderson just wanted to get home, but now he felt like a suspect. Officer Miller believed he had to be tough to show control. He was looking for a problem, even if there wasn't one. The peaceful drive was gone, replaced by a silent standoff. Mr. Henderson's heart pounded as he waited for what would happen next. The officer's suspicion was baseless, but it colored every second. A routine stop had become anything but routine. Mr. Henderson handed over his documents, calm and respectful. He didn't ask why he was stopped. He just complied, as he'd always taught his son to do. Officer Miller, unsettled by the man's composure, grew more suspicious. Why isn't he nervous? He wondered, twisting politeness into something sinister. "You failed to signal for a full 100 feet, Officer Miller finally said, his tone harsh for such a minor infraction. Mr. Henderson nodded, apologizing politely. The officer wanted a reaction, a reason to escalate, but Mr. Henderson gave him none. Frustrated, Officer Miller demanded, "Step out of the car, sir." There was no cause, just a power play, born from unease and a need to assert control. Mr. Henderson hesitated, confusion flickering across his face. He knew this wasn't standard for a minor violation, but he complied, not wanting to make things worse. Officer Miller felt a surge of victory at the discomfort he'd caused. He motioned for Mr. Henderson to stand by the rear of the vehicle. The officer ran the license, hoping for a reason to justify his suspicion. The information came back clean. No record, no warrants. Officer Miller's frustration grew. He had nothing. He was left with a citizen who'd made a small mistake, and his own baseless doubts. The tension hung in the air, unresolved. The stop had become a test of character, for both men. Officer Miller returned, license in hand, pride wounded. "I'm letting you go with a warning," he muttered, avoiding eye contact. Mr. Henderson didn't move. "Officer Miller," he said, reading the name tag, "we need to talk about what just happened." The officer looked up, confused. "My name is David Henderson. I'm the director of the Office of Professional Responsibility, the department that handles internal affairs." Officer Miller froze, realization dawning. The man he'd treated with suspicion was in charge of police conduct. Mr. Henderson's voice was steady. "Your conduct tonight was concerning." Officer Miller's mind raced. He saw his career flash before his eyes. He'd let his mood and unfounded suspicion guide his actions. Mr. Henderson continued, "It shouldn't matter who I am. Every person you stop deserves fairness and respect." The words hit harder than any punishment. Officer Miller saw for the first time the real impact of his actions. He'd failed the basic test of his badge. Mr. Henderson didn't threaten, he simply held up a mirror. The shame was immediate and deep. The lesson was clear. Respect is not optional. The moment changed both men. The world seemed to stop for Officer Miller. He realized he'd judged a man before knowing him, letting power and suspicion take over. Mr. Henderson's disappointment was worse than anger. "Sir, I didn't know," Officer Miller stammered. "That's the point, son," Mr. Henderson replied. "It shouldn't matter who I am. Every person you stop deserves fairness and respect. What if I'd been your neighbor, or a scared teenager? Your approach was wrong, officer, and we need to fix that." The words were a mirror, and Officer Miller did not like the reflection. He saw the need for change, in himself and in the system. The lesson was humbling, but necessary. Respect and fairness must be the standard, not the exception. The moment would not be forgotten. That traffic stop became a turning point for Officer Miller and the department. Mr. Henderson saw a chance for real change, not just punishment. He brought Officer Miller in to help develop new training. The officer shared his story with peers, his mistake, his shame, and what he learned. The Henderson rule was born: explain every stop, treat everyone with respect, and remember that trust is fragile. Dashcam footage from that night became a teaching tool. The change was slow, but steady. Officer Miller became a respected trainer, teaching recruits that fairness is the foundation of good policing. The story of the Sunset Stop became a legend, a reminder that change starts with humility. One mistake led to a new standard. Sometimes the most powerful lessons come from a simple moment on the side of the road. The sun set on old habits, and a new culture began to rise. Respect, once an afterthought, became the rule.